did not get through one single performance where I didn't laugh because they were laughing at this ridiculous situation that Jean Valjean was in. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So I first met Alistair on my first day of rehearsals for Les Mis in 2010. I turned up at lunchtime with a big suitcase because I'd been doing a job in the morning. I don't know if you remember this. No. And you were coming out of the building. It was at Erdang. And I was at the bottom of the stairs with the suitcase and my bag, and I was like, I'm late, oh my God. And you're like, hi, I'm Alistair. I'm one of your Marius. And I was like, hi, nice to meet you, I'm Lucie. And you're like, do you know that Nick Jonas is coming? And I was like, wait, what's happening? Because I didn't know any of this information.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Like classic you, within about 8 seconds, I knew everything.
Yeah.
I was like, I like this guy very, very much.
I talk too much is what she's trying to say.
No, it's so open and authentic. I loved it. I really loved it. And we did the show together for best part of a year then, I'd say.
Yeah, me, you and Sam Barks.
Absolutely.
More importantly, when did you first meet me, Lucie?
Do you remember when you first met me?
No, I have no idea. No.
I remember.
I'm joking. Carry on interviewing him. I'll just sit here like a spare.
No.
Yeah.
Please. Okay, so Brammer, what size shoes are you?
It was such an exciting day when we met, wasn't it?
Such an exciting and memorable occasion.
Talk to John. He'll get
I do remember when I first met you, John, and I actually don't know if you'll remember. It was the press night of the Les Mis tour in Cardiff.
No, I don't remember you being there. Sorry.
No, of course you don't. I was like 17.
That was 15 years ago.
None of us remember you.
It's absolutely fine, guys. I'm okay with it. Totally fine. That night, my mum came with me, and she got slightly inebriated at the after-show party. I
remember now.
Yes. Unsurprisingly, she put her face into the chocolate fountain. We don't let her out anymore. Good old Jill.
Was your dad there as well?
Yes. Yeah, that was the first time.
Legend, your dad.
He is, and that's the first time he met you, and he was a huge fan of you. And now, over the years, you've become little pals. I love it. It's very
I found out that Lucie was going into Wicked when I was recording down in Cardiff, and I bumped into her dad, and he told me, "Oh, Lucie's playing Alphaba." I'm like, "Really? Oh, don't tell her I told you." Yeah, that was it, wasn't it?
Classic Lou, yeah, absolutely. And that's
He's just proud, wasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. And so they should be. So let's of all of us, that's what I meant, sorry, all of our parents.
Yeah, and so he bloody should be.
We're awesome. Go us. Let's go back to the beginning for both of you. John and I are sort of from a similar neck of the woods, and you're from a different neck of the woods.
Yeah.
But we've all ended up in a similar position in life. And my start was, I loved singing, I loved dancing, and I loved being part of a sort of theatre community. So I did everything I possibly could. I did choir, I did stagecoach, I did Amdram, I did school shows. Was that the same sort of situation for both of you?
Yeah.
Cool.
Next question.
No,
and that was off script with Lucie Jones.
Woo.
No, I'm so intrigued because there's this whole sort of conversation at the moment about how certain people in the industry look down upon amateur dramatics.
Yeah.
And
Is it?
Yeah, it's I'm seeing a lot of it at the moment, and I hate it.
Yeah.
I really hate it because I would be nothing without all of the amateur dramatics that I did growing up. I really completely think that my start in the industry would not have happened if I hadn't been doing shows.
That's literally true for me, because I did Les Mis school audition when I was like 16, and then it was around the time of the 20th anniversary of the show. It's now the 40th, which is sort of mad. But they did a search for school kids to come and do a West End a sort of mini concert of stars of Les Mis of the future. And I auditioned and got whittled down and got cast as Marius. I was 16. And it was like a little finale. And then that's the only reason why I got asked back to do the show, was because Cameron remembered who I was and was like, oh, I'll have him. I was 20.
Can I ask a question here? Can I ask a question? Who was playing Valjean when you were doing that?
When you were doing the 20th, it was you, yeah. Yeah, it was. He's been playing it for that long. Yeah.
Not anymore, though. I've retired from Valjean now.
For now.
When did you first meet, you two?
At that 20th anniversary.
Technically, yeah. I was 16 and he was, 30 or something?
So charming. And then we worked together in Dubai when we did Les Mis, and he was on Gérard, and I was... Who was I?
Jean Valjean.
I
think it was Jean Valjean.
Yeah. Jean Valjean and or the Phantom.
And I started in like school plays, and then went off to youth theatre. But that was the only way in. into professional theatre.
Particularly growing up in, these parts of the country that we all did. We weren't living in
Devon,
or near
by the
London.
way, so
Sorry, yes, Devon.
Corner of the country.
None of us lived near London or Manchester, and they're like these hubs of theatre. And it's different now. Cardiff has a lot of filming going on, and there's a lot of professional work there. But even when I was growing up, there really wasn't. No. So you had to do that sort of amateur stuff. And there's a wonderful musical director in the West End who goes out and does an amateur production once a year, and he brings a couple of professional people. Yeah, you can have it. It's fine.
Where's mine then?
I don't know.
Sorry,
just
I'm
have
so
that
confused.
one. It's fine.
Should have stuck with the gin and tonic.
Yeah, I know. I should have stuck with that. Rookie mistake. I have one backstage.
I don't know what you've done with it, but that's new. You can have that.
Oh, okay.
God, this is how much should we pay for tickets for this? This is... Dear me.
We've kissed on stage before. We can share a water bottle.
Yeah,
that's fine. A long time ago.
Very long time ago. I remember being so nervous. You were my first on-stage kiss.
Yeah, and you were my second, I suppose. I must have had a cassette before you, right?
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Story of your life, isn't it,
Yeah,
Lucie?
unfortunately.
Yeah, that's
Camilla Kerslake.
Camilla Kerslake.
Yes, you would have done it with her.
I had her, and I had Emily Bull.
Oh, yes, lovely.
Yes.
Lots of kissing for you then.
Yeah.
What was your first on-stage kiss?
My first on-stage kiss was actually in amateur dramatics.
Oh.
Yeah,
it's one of the reasons too, but in professional.
No, it's one of the reasons why I'm an actor, because I was like, I enjoyed doing it, and I was like...
was Sonia Freeman. And she
yeah. Yeah, I actually, we were doing this musical review thing, and I didn't know I could sing. I just would sing along with stuff, and then the musical director and the director of the show said, "Oh, I want you to do a duet." I'm like, "Oh, no chance. It's Sondheim. It'll be challenging." I'm like, "Absolutely no way." But you will get to kiss Jill, this girl I really fancied. I went, "Yeah, all right."
Yeah, all right, I'll do it.
So I sang the song, kissed the girl, got a big round of applause, and I thought, that's
what I want to do for
the
my
rest of
whole life.
Yeah. And then I've almost exclusively played characters who don't kiss anybody. Yeah, apart from the Phantom, who gets a snog at the end of the show.
Yeah, but it's like a bit
it's
of a
kind of
weird
forced
one.
on him. He doesn't want it.
Yeah. I don't think she really does either.
No, she doesn't. You're covered in all that gunk, all the plastic.
Yeah, less
and
said
stuff,
about that, the better, I think.
Yeah.
But so on that, when I was looking over your career, John, in prep for this interview,
that couldn't have taken long. Is there 2 shows?
No, there's not.
Les Mis and Phantom.
We should really wear with a massive badge of honour that you have played Jean Valjean and the Phantom of the frickin' Opera more than any other human on the planet, and you are the ultimate. You're so good.
Yeah! Oh, thank you.
Wow, oh my
what
gosh.
a lovely thing for you to all applaud so spontaneously. Thank you so much.
Honestly, I really mean it. And when I was looking through it, I was like, what? Did no one know you were funny until a certain age? Because then all of a sudden you're in the Bake Off musical opposite Rosie Ash, and I think you're very funny.
I am very funny.
I know.
Yeah.
And
funny peculiar, though, not funny ha-ha.
No, you are. You're very funny and you're very clever.
Very strange.
And I think that, I don't know, maybe it's just a casting thing. You've sort of grown into this part of casting now where we can have you in these comedy roles, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah. Oh, well, good. I'm glad. I mean, I love doing that kind of thing. I mean, I find it, when I'm in rehearsal, I try and make everyone laugh and put everyone at ease, so just carrying that on into acting now.
Absolutely.
Though it's harder, actually, when you're doing it on stage, because the timing and the rhythm is much...
It's also
hard. Timing is actually tricky.
It's harder when you're in a cast with John, because he's always trying to make you laugh.
Yeah.
So you'll be on the barricade about to die as Honduras, and he says some stupid joke in your ear, and you're just facing up stage like this.
Shaking. For those listening at home, Alistair was just shaking his shoulders.
Yeah, thank you.
It's true. I can attest to it.
Yeah,
I can attest to it.
It's hard, but very
But I'm terrible, though, because I will corpse at anything.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I am too, actually.
I mean, some people corpse with their eyes, and you just see their eyes going funny. Some people corpse with their mouth. Like that, I corpse with my entire body. It's
me
impossible.
Too. Have you ever had one that's been so bad that you've sort of had to just give up and accept it?
It happened to me today.
No, tell us.
I'm rehearsing a new musical called Alfred Hitchcock Presents, and we've got which goes to Bath and then maybe somewhere else. But and we've got Liam Tamney. I don't know who Liam Tamney is.
Yes.
He is the worst. And I got one word a bit wrong today because it's week 2 of rehearsals, and I saw him go. Which is actor's
For all those
talk,
listening
I'm
at home, he
laughing
just turned his face away from
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
microphone.
thanks.
Don't forget,
Thank
this
you
is
for-
not.
I appreciate
This is on
you.
radio.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something.
cheers,
Yeah, don't
cheers.
forget that.
And then that and I couldn't sing the rest of my song, and I was just, thankfully it was a quartet, so I was semi-hidden, but nevertheless the director was just watching me going, why is that person making no sound? Yeah,
What's happened?
Liam's the worst at it. He's
Yes.
really bad.
I did a show in Paris 2 years ago. A funny thing happened on the way to the forum. I'd engineered a way to get my testicles out on stage for a laugh. What? Yeah, I know. It was a character-driven thing, right? So they made me these false testicles. I was playing this Roman soldier. You didn't see it, did you? No. So I was playing this Roman soldier. He was very pompous and arrogant. But every time he lifted his arms up, his skirt lifted up, and you could see his nuts. But they were fake.
Correct?
But they'd made these fake testicles for me, and honestly, I was this close to the audience, and every time I did it, I saw people laughing. I did the show like, I don't know, 100 times, did not get through one single performance where I didn't laugh because they were laughing at this ridiculous situation that Jean Valjean was in. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was very, very funny. If you come up and say hello afterwards, I'll show you pictures.
Oh, yeah. What did they make them of? Were they
Like a latex, yeah.
Oh.
And in the dress rehearsal, the thing that fastened them on came loose, and so I was
They
running
fell
around, and they were knocking against my ankles.
It's a glamorous life,
Yeah.
folks. It's a glamorous life. Oh, we love it.
Art mirroring life, I
It's
think.
ridiculous.
Yes, I'm at that age now, Alistair, yeah.
And on that very surreal moment in your career, John, the question that I'm asking everybody on the pod is, do you have a pinpointed most surreal moment of your career? It can be good, bad, ugly.
You go first.
I mean, surreal positive is walking through Times Square and seeing your face on Times Square.
Yeah.
So I did a show called Miss Saigon, and thank you, both of you, thank you. And I was lucky enough to do it in London and then go to New York with it. And walking through Times Square and seeing these amazing shows, Ben Platt, it was the year of Heaven Hansen, and all these amazing people, and then just there's you. I mean, that's amazing. To be in that community, that's surreal. As a little lad from southwest of England who was lucky enough to do musicals, it was like, what? That was crazy. What was your surreal moment?
Getting a private tour of the Kremlin. Because I was performing in the Bolshoi as the Phantom in the Bolshoi Theatre. That was a bit weird.
Yeah.
Walking around, which you can't even go to Russia now. You know,
Of course.
or performing at Sydney Opera House, or the first time my kids ever saw me on stage, I was singing opera at the Albert Hall. Loads of stuff like that.
That's amazing.
It's mad, really.
Well, us when we were in Dubai, we got tickets to a private room over the tracks of the Abu Dhabi Formula One. So me and
actually,
John
no. I got tickets and I
invited
invited
me
you.
along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
they're
was
doing the
riding on
Formula
his
One in Abu
coattails.
Dhabi, and there's like a hotel where the cars race through the hotel, and we were in a suite watching the cars go past. Yeah.
It was
so
amazing.
cool.
Yeah.
So random.
It was amazing.
I felt sure that you would say one of the most surreal moments of your career, John, was either getting really drunk at the rugby and having to sing the prayer a cappella with me in Twickenham.
Oh yeah, was that Twickenham?
Yeah,
Yeah.
really weird. And or your rock god version of Thank You Baked Potato in lockdown. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
Wash
I
your
do,
hands,
yeah.
don't touch your face, thank you baked potato.
Yeah.
I honestly, for about 6 months, every day I listened to your
Did you
version
really?
of that.
Oh, I
Because
wish I
it's
got a
like rock
royalty
god.
for
It's
it.
like,
Oh,
thank you
right.
baked potato.
My
It was
nephews
so
both
good.
loved that as well, so I
Oh.
kind of did it for them, really.
Them and me alike.
Yeah.
Them and me alike.
There was a surreal moment when we did a job in Tokyo together. We did a concert in Tokyo, and the producer invited us to karaoke for his birthday after the show, and a drunken John Owen-Jones singing "Get Your Hands Off My Woman, Mother." From the dark by the darkness.
So I'm a big fan of the darkness. It's got F-bombs, it's got C-bombs
It's
in it.
horrific.
And all these Japanese people are like that.
The producer was watching him just like, it's great.
And I've never been asked
Oh my
back.
god, that's amazing.
That was a pinch me moment.
Yeah, pinch us all, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to your professional careers. You both have done something that I think is quite difficult to do for many reasons. You've both taken iconic roles that have been running for years and recreated them, revamped them for new versions of the show. Yourself in Miss Saigon as Chris, and you've done Les Mis and Phantom as Jean Valjean and the Phantom.
Yeah.
And now that it's been a while since you've done those things, and you're probably out of NDA and dust is settled, was there ever any difficulties coming up against original creatives with new ideas? Because you are both people that ask why, and what for, and for good reasons. You're both very smart and you know what you're doing. So there will be things that when you're in a rehearsal process for a long running show, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's the saying. You stand on 4 and you look up there, and if you don't know why, just deal with it.
Can you just explain what stand on 4 means?
You're talking about Wicked, aren't you?
Yes. Yeah. When you rehearse a show, you're absolutely right, John. When you rehearse a show across the front of the stage, on centre there'll be a little 0, and then equal distance left and right will be a 2, and then a 4, and then a 6, and that's how you sort of block out a show and you know where to stand. So quite often in a long running show, you'll get told you just need to stand on 4 at the first, I don't know, 10 feet back or whatever, and say your line up to the gods, and if you ask why and they don't know why, then you just swallow it and you get on with it. But when you're creating something, you can sort of say, I don't think my character would do that, or do I have to be exactly there because I know that in the moment I'll be thinking about other things and I think I need to be frenetic with it, or I don't want to raise my hand on that one note as the Phantom.
I think directors have gotten very good at making things sound like they're your idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So they go like, maybe try like this, and then you try it like that for 10 minutes, and they say, what if you tried like this? And then you end up doing what the last guy did. You know, but they make it seem like it came from you.
When I did Les Mis on Broadway the second time, the director, James Powell, who I've actually known for many, many years, and he was in Les Mis in the cast with me back in the 90s when this place was called Shuttleworths. We were rehearsing Les Mis on Broadway, and he came up to me and said, I've got this idea, maybe you could try this. And I went, oh, wait, no, that's something I invented 10 years ago. Oh, is it? Yeah, that's my move. Are you pretending that's your direction? I went, yeah, I suppose I have been. So, you know, that they think they own this thing, but actually they're just, you know, sponges like we are as actors. They're taking ideas and, you know, rechanneling them. But to get back to your original question, Hal Prince, when he, may he rest in peace, what a legend, when he came in to direct me in Phantom, when I was doing Phantom, I'd changed the original blocking. Now, when Phantom was first staged, they put the show together, and then for some reason they had a hiatus where they couldn't actually stage it, they couldn't direct it, there was some problem. So Hal Prince got little mannequins on the stage, and he moved everyone around, and he plotted the entire show without actors. So when they came into rehearsal, he just told people, stand on 4, look up there, do all that, right? And it was all thought out with reason for him. Now, when I came into the show in like 2000, I didn't want to do a particular move. It didn't make any sense to me, and the director at the time couldn't make it make sense, so I changed the move. Hal Prince comes in, he goes, what are you doing? I said, well, this is why I'm doing this. He went, I don't like it. Well, but this is what I've been doing for 6 months. Go back to the original blocking and then work out why. And so I went, oh yeah, fine. So he did all the blocking, and it was my job as an actor to decide why I was moving there. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
And then he watched it. I did the original blocking. He was very happy. He got back in the plane, and then I just put it back to what it was.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because I still could not find the reason to do that.
I feel like sometimes you're given things like that, and they try and frame it as an acting exercise when really it's just because they can't remember.
Yeah.
They can't remember why they did it that way. And that's why I wanted to talk about this with you two specifically, because you have both been in a position where a really well-known, well-loved character is sort of in your hands to freshen up. And you are both people who will go, okay, I'm going to give this everything, and I'm going to think about it and not just do it.
Yes, in that vein, I sort of refused to do it. In the nicest, I'm not like a no, but I just mean sort of, they say like, well, this is how, and I say, well, let me find that. If that's what it is, let me find that. It might take time, you know. I'd like to start from the inside out, and this is whether you're doing screen, TV, film, or on stage. You have to start with, okay, well, why would I, you know, from inside.
What's your truth?
Yeah. And then the size of that truth, whether you're on stage or on a camera, is irrelevant, really. But I just think I struggle when someone says do that. I go, well, okay, let me just take a second to figure out why I'm doing that, you know. And I sort of say, without saying no, I say no. Let me just find that myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Not yet.
Yeah.
Not no.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, whereas I would just say no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you'd say okay, and then wait for them to leave, and then
and then just do what I want.
The other side's true too, though, isn't it? That sometimes you have to do what the director says.
Of course.
And then make it
I
work.
find that's particularly true of American directors. When I've worked with American directors, you just do as you're told. British directors, you're more able to argue with them and be fluid in the process. But American directors have a very specific way of doing it. So I'm looking forward to doing The Great Gatsby in the summer with an American director. Anyone come to see that? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
So, because that already exists on Broadway, there'll be a framework they've got. So I'll have to slip into that.
I wonder how if you guys have any experience with this. I've done a couple of things that have been in New York or in the States and then have come here, and they've ever so slightly adapted them for our audiences and for our sense of humour, or our vernacular, if you will. I wonder if they'll do that with Gatsby.
No, I don't think they will.
Make it really British.
Yeah.
Oh, blimey,
Oh, blimey. What? That was a heck of a party. A romp, if you will.
Exactly, yeah.
Forsooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But another thing about your original question there is I've been very lucky to actually be the guy that reinterpreted Phantom and reinterpreted Les Mis. When they did the 25th anniversaries of both shows, Cameron had this rather commendable idea of making it fresh and new after 25 years and redesigning, redirecting, rewriting in some cases Phantom and Les Mis, and I was the Phantom and I was Valjean. And those versions are now going all around the world with my ideas in them. It was really interesting watching someone like Alfie Boe or Ramin Karimloo follow in my footsteps. And get the Tony nominations and stuff.
Well, it's nice that, isn't it?
I'm not bitter though.
They did win though, babe.
It was really interesting. So then I went to Broadway, and I was doing the show that I invented in 2010, in 2016, the one we did in Dubai, Alistair.
Yes, without the revolve.
And I was in the room being able to tell people, this is why we did it like this. Because I was in that room originally,
That's nice.
So I was in the Hal Prince mode, I was the person that was there. It's fantastic, really. I'm very lucky.
You were the annoying one, basically.
Yeah.
You were the one that when you left, they went back
lifetime?
to doing it the way they were doing it before.
Yeah.
But it's nice because you could remember the reasons why, and you could talk people through that. And it's a really nice thing about when you work with people who are prolific, you can ask them questions. And I do sit with people sometimes. I'm like, what was it like when you did this thing? And I'm in my 30s and have been around for a little bit now, and I'm sitting down with people, and that's why I'm doing this, because I want to be like, well, what did that mean, and how did you get that, and what did you ask there? So I'm so interested in still learning.
Well, I get that every day. On this job I'm doing, I'm working with Sally Ann Triplett, who's 63 now, and she's been doing musicals for 40-something years.
Really? God.
And so the stories, the people that she's worked with, you're just sort of like, it's unbelievable. So it's like I'm constantly just annoying her and all the other people in the cast. Like, what was it like when you did that in 1987? It's amazing to me.
No, it's so great though.
I can't resist asking questions.
You absolutely should, and you completely should. Before you did this musical, before you came into this process, you've been working in the screen world for quite some time.
Yeah.
Was that a purposeful choice? Because you sort of moved away from London with your family as well, and was that so that you could do that, or did it happen the other way around?
It was the pandemic. So the pandemic not forced, but we, like a lot of people, we decided not to be in London during the pandemic. So we went to Belfast, where my wife is from, and when you move away, it becomes not every theatre gig is an option. You go, I can't do that one that's badly paid, or I can't do that one that I don't want to do, really. So in a weird way, it makes life easier, because you go, unless it's something I really want to do, or is going to give me a real creative, like this one I'm doing now is so creative and with really cool people, and it's a short contract, so I can be away from my family for a few weeks. You don't do it. You just say no to the audition. You go, I don't want to go and do Brigadoon, or I don't want to go do whatever, Yeah. But with something, just as an example.
Why do you hate Brigadoon?
No, that's just you know what I mean? Something that doesn't float your boat particularly, or whatever. So by doing that, it meant I lived in Belfast, and then I was available. And anyone that does TV and film will know that you have to just be available. And the problem with musicals is you're not available. You do a year in a musical, that is 1 year that you are not free to do TV or film.
So to do anything else, really.
Yeah, it takes the choice away. So by moving away and being slightly pickier based on, because I've got children now and all that kind of thing, it then means I was available. So then I could start to do the auditions, and then got the jobs. And then.
Do you have a favourite thing that you've done on screen, I should say?
I did a film in the summer called The Watchers, which was M. Night Shyamalan.
You were in the trailer, man.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
He's in the film as well, believe it or not.
Yeah. But that was great, just because I was working with Dakota Fanning, and there's really great actors in it, and it was just it was very cool. Actually, my favourite one is a film called Medieval, which is on Netflix, and it was with a world's strongest man, a guy called Magnus Samuelsson, and it was just so cool.
Did you just ask him to pick things up and throw them all the time?
I just kept on asking him, how should I do this in the gym, and and there was like a few really, really massive guys on that, so it became a bit of a sort of job, which was great, because going from musicals...
That's the most boy answer.
Going from dancing through life and playing Fiero to suddenly throwing rocks and shooting arrows that's good fun.
Yeah, that's
Wasn't there somebody else really famous in that film as well?
Michael Caine, yes.
Michael Caine, yeah.
Michael Caine.
Yeah.
And,
I didn't mention
not a lot
him.
of people now, Dad.
Not a lot of people, yeah.
That should have got a big laugh. I don't know why.
No, honestly.
It's because my impression was awful.
Terrible.
No, I thought it was quite good, actually.
Yeah.
Please do it again.
No. Do you know what, right? I was on the Terry Wogan show once on Radio 2, like Sunday morning. What a legend that man was. And I jokingly told the guys in the control room before I went in to do a live interview with him that I did a really good Terry Wogan impression. And they went, do you? I went, yeah. Hello, I'm Terry Wogan, right, as a joke, right? And then I get in the studio and they've told him and he asked me,
On air.
so I hear you do a really good Terry Wogan. Can you do it for me now, John? I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, you actually
So I had
can.
to do a live impression of Terry Wogan in front of Terry Wogan, knowing that I can't do an impression of Terry Wogan.
Well, I think it's quite good. Well done, you. I want to go back to just briefly, I'm not a parent, but if I had a child and they said to me, I want to do musicals, I'd say run.
Yeah, me too.
Hell no. I wanted to get your opinion on that.
Well, my kids are 22 and 21, and neither of them have got any interest.
Not interested at all.
And they don't do it at all.
Thank God.
They're quite artistic, you know. They're both incredible artists.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter's an interior designer. My son does computer design. But no, they're not into it at all. You know, it's because they see how miserable it's made me over the years.
The thing is, it is really hard, and I'm not trying to like scare people.
Yeah.
I teach and I love teaching, but it's really hard.
It's
a really hard industry. So I wonder when you've got like your own little cherub angels,
Well, mine are 4 and 5.
what are they showing interest in? Are they into it at all?
The 5-year-old's into singing. I could show
Actually,
you.
this would lead us on to our podcast.
Okay, well, this is
Because
seamless.
Yeah, if you listen
It
to...
would have been if he hadn't explained how it's seamless.
No, well, yeah, so which one is it?
Sully.
Sully, yeah. So we've got this podcast, right? And one of the guests on it was a guy called Bertie Carville, right? He's got kids as well, and you've just worked with him, and he was a guest, and then you played a little recording of your son singing. You don't
I
have that
did.
on your phone, do you?
Of course
Yeah,
I
can
do.
we hear it?
Yeah.
So
it
this
is
is-
Do you mind?
unbearably
My
good.
son has incredible vibrato.
Yeah.
It's obviously because he's heard me singing, and my vibrato you could drive a bus through. But let me show you this. This is my son singing the Rainbow song. You know, I can sing a rainbow.
Please play the correct thing and not something else. No. Here comes the vibrato.
Oh, Sully!
It's amazing, isn't it?
Oh, I love that.
I know, it's so gorgeous.
And obviously that's very cute, and
Yeah.
it probably is very heartwarming. But you also like,
So I've got another son who has no interest in it at all. You say, like, sing a song. No, like, he just doesn't
Yeah.
care. And I just think I'm just going to let them do whatever they want. Who cares? You know, like, it's, we've been all right. You know what I mean?
yeah, we're doing all
It's
right.
like the thing you have to get used to as an actor, as we all know very well, is being told no. You know, that's the hardest thing, is the rejection. But all it does is give you a thicker skin. I think. I don't know. It wouldn't bother me too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
okay.
conversely, the only power you have as an actor is the ability to say no.
Yes.
You get told no all the time, and the only power you have is to say no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Let's talk about your podcast.
Oh, please, that's why
Because-
we're here after all.
No,
This
you're
is the last
you're here out of the
show.
goodness of your hearts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that.
Right? Yeah, the
and a
pause.
massive
The pause
fee,
said
yeah.
it all. So Alistair and John run a podcast, which, did you come up with the idea in lockdown, or were you talking about it before?
Well, yeah, I came up with the idea actually, and then so no.
Talk us through it.
The story.
Talk us- take us back.
The story is it's Michael Ball's fault in a way, because when we were doing the stage concert of Les Mis, so Al and I have known each other for a long time. We did Les Mis in Dubai together, And during lockdown, we reconnected, and we would send WhatsApps to each other and really make each other laugh, you know. And I jokingly said to him one day, "Oh, this should be a podcast. It's gold," and forgot about it. And then was doing this concert with Alfie and Michael, and I was bored one day, you know, waiting to do something, and I said to Michael, "Oh, you know, if you had like 24 hours to live, what would your last meal be?" And then he told me, and then it's like, what about if you went to the theatre, what would it be? If you had 24 hours to live, what show would you like to see above anything else? It could be something you made up. It can be something you never got the chance to see, like West Side Story, original cast. It could be something, you know, that you've always wanted to see but never got the chance. What would it be? And he had like 5 answers. And then I went around the cast, and everyone had a different answer. And then I thought, oh, that's the podcast. So I messaged him and gone, we should do a podcast, and this is the idea. And that's what we've done.
And it's called The Last Show on Earth.
Yeah. And you were one of our guests, weren't you?
I was, yes.
Yeah.
And I've been told today that my show was a crap idea.
No, I did
not
not
it wasn't.
say
It
that.
was wonderful. He was only being funny and ironical.
So people come on, and sometimes like they will say like, oh yeah, I wanted to see the original cast of Les Mis, or, you know, Bertie Carvel wanted to see a play that was set in, what was it, like
just square and
with like 300 people in the cast.
Danny Mac wanted Hook the musical, you know Hook the Spielberg movie.
Yeah, I love that movie.
True to type, Lucy decided that it should be a musical set in Wales, and it should be Gavin and Stacey the musical, right?
It's a good idea.
I thought it was a very good idea.
It is a good idea, but
I'm still not writing it off, guys.
No. Well, you know,
especially with James Corden, like he'll probably write it for himself.
Absolutely.
That's the thing, yeah.
So did you get any ideas from guests that you thought, oh, we should actually write this show?
Well, we had Trevor Dion-Nicholas do an episode for us, and he'd actually written the whole treatment. He had character names.
Nuts.
It was all set to the music to, what band was it?
Ben Folds.
Ben Folds 5.
Oh,
Ben Folds 5.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, so he had a whole story,
sounds fun, but his episode was really long.
Yeah.
If you're going to choose an episode, listen to Lucie's. It's a really nice one.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
But but mostly they're like almost impossible things. You know, Matt Lucas chose Mamma Mia, but with the original ABBA lineup and the Beatles.
Fun, yeah.
And he wanted like the Spice Girls in the ensemble and stuff.
Yeah. It's just mental, you know.
Mad.
And he also wanted to be in his bath watching it.
Yeah,
because we don't just ask people, what show would you like? We'd like to see, what theatre would you like to see it in? What would you like for your interval drink? Where are you going for dinner afterwards? Who's your dream cast? And
who are you watching it with?
Yeah,
and
who's your plus one?
Mm-hmm. So that's our little 5 questions basically, and it's just a jumping off point for a chat. But we're also, as you can see, we're both incredibly stupid, so it's a bit silly, you know.
It's such a fun podcast.
It's full of games and jokes and laughs and stuff.
Speaking of which,
I'll do this little segment. So we have a segment in our show. Has anybody here actually listened to our podcast, The Last Show on Earth?
Oh, a few people have. Oh, that's good.
Why did we bother turning up then?
Yeah, of course.
Never mind, you've done it now.
No, we have a huge amount of fun doing it. And so when I saw Al on Broadway doing Miss Saigon, we went to a bar afterwards, and he showed off this skill, which every time he does it amazes me. And it amazes everyone. Now, he has this incredible skill where he can tell you exactly how many letters are in a word or in a sentence, right? So we have this little section on our podcast called What 3 Words, where a guest will randomly ask him 3 words, what are they? He'll tell you exactly how many are in those words, right? And he never gets it wrong, well, very rarely. Yeah. So we thought it would be fun to open it up to the audience.
Yeah, we should play. Does anyone want to play?
So who would like to give us 3 random words, and then Alistair will tell you exactly how many letters are in that? Anyone?
Give me a word.
Oh, what's that? Only if you sing the theme tune.
How's it go again?
Oh, God.
I can't remember how it begins.
Yeah, we recorded it like 4 years ago, didn't we?
My name is John.
My name is Al. Oh, that's the other way around. And here we ask the questions.
Nobody dared to ask if you had 1 day to live, what show would be your last? This is your last show on Earth. Big finish.
This is the last show on Earth. Yeah, it goes on like that. Anyway, so yours first? Elephant?
Go on. Hercombe?
It's a name, yeah.
How do you spell that?
No, see.
Well,
no, because
How
that's
do you spell it?
that's too archaic.
An unknown name.
Yeah.
Okay,
It has to be a word he knows, because I mean, you can't ask him to do something in French.
It isn't magic. I do just count them, so I can't.
Yeah.
If I can't spell it, okay. What was your one? Yep, 14.
Well, who else? Over there.
You can count them.
What was it? Onesie.
6. So 8, 6, and 14. Yes, that's 28.
And Hercombe is Hercum?
Yes,
Hercombe?
I'm ignoring Hercombe. It's 28 is the answer, yeah.
What, is that your name? Hercombe? Where's that from? That's weird, isn't it? It's so unusual. Come on, I'm sorry. You opened this can of worms, and we're going to close it. Where's your name from?
Oh.
Well, that's the end of that conversation then.
How do you figure out that you have this random skill?
I think one day someone just said a word like xylophone. They went, how many letters in xylophone? I was like, 9. They were like, that was quick. And I was like, is it? They were like, yeah, well, I can't do that. And I just realised I could just do that, yeah.
Okay.
I know.
Well, there you go.
Really
I'm glad
weird.
I asked.
Really? Yeah. Great advert for the podcast.
Yeah, that went really well, that segment. Yeah.
It is a great podcast. And it's really lovely to have two people that are just so smart and brilliant and lovely and very clearly like each other. Being on a podcast like that, for the listener, there was some touching. Yes. Not for me, between the two men. It's really fun to listen to. It's super easygoing. I love the vibe of it, and I hope it runs forever. And I'd like to come back because I have a new idea.
Do you really?
Yes. And I feel like I've already written a song for it, and I will perform the song.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, because we've had an idea about trying to create something else with the format, like shorter versions. So something like, the last show quickies or something, Bonus. So it's like 10 minutes long.
It's a very different idea.
Yeah. What quickie would you have if you had 24 hours to live? Yeah.
This is quite interesting, actually, because when I do my radio show on Magic at the Musicals every Saturday, 10 till 12, thank you, between links, I'm forever going, there's a laptop on the stool, and writing these stupid songs. And it's come about that I am writing a musical, you're going to laugh, about a small town girl who comes from Wales to London to make it in the big city. And the opening number, when she arrives in London, is talent and timing and teeth and tits, and it sort of goes on from there. If you could just, I'm putting you on the spot here. If you could write me a song for a moment in that musical, what would it be and how would it be? Like, would it be at a big 11 o'clock number, end of Act 1?
In your musical?
Yeah, the I Want song. It's me, I'm like a small town girl and I've come to London to make my dream.
Just a small town girl.
No, that's done. That's taken.
What?
That's a song already.
I would probably write something that was, I don't know, about bringing somebody home or something. Yeah. Or maybe
bring her home.
What if you turn off all the lights and listen to music at night time, well, that would be like,
yeah, maybe in a boat.
Yeah.
In a boat.
Or slapping like dough all over something.
Yeah,
nice.
Like that. Nice. I do a lot of that too. Musicals about baking and stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
Absolutely.
In your day to day.
So no actual answers. Just
No, that's a really hard question.
I know. I know it is, and I've talked about trying to incorporate this into the podcast with my producer Sarah.
And she thinks it's a terrible idea.
No, because we have so much fun writing these ridiculous songs, and in the moment it's so funny. We're killing ourselves laughing, and it just doesn't translate.
Do you know what? I honestly think, right, because I used to get a guitar and play and just sort of write a song.
For the listeners at home, he's miming playing a guitar.
He's doing air guitar. He did it for Just a Small Town Girl as well.
Did I? I didn't even know.
Yeah, a little bit.
Involuntary guitar. Air guitar. No, and I think the older I get, the more my like creative juices have like stopped flowing in that regard of like just going for it and just being brave.
I would have thought having young kids around, that sort of happens more.
Well, it happens more in terms of play.
Yeah.
Like, I can
but that's what songwriting is, right? You're just playing,
true,
but with tunes. I'm doing the air guitar now.
Yeah.
But with tunes, and you're sort of creating melodies.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but
do you not do stuff like when you load in the dishwasher, you just sing a song about the dishwasher?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Does anyone else do stuff like that? Goes, I'm just putting plates into the dishwasher.
I hope they come out clean.
And then. Listen to me, darling wife, the plates go on the bottom and the glass is on the top, and not the bloody way that you did it yesterday. That kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So that kind of thing. Maybe we should write a song about a dishwasher.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll get it into Act 2.
Yeah.
Can't promise it's going to make the final cut, but it'll be in the first workshop. Yeah. There we go.
It could be the equivalent of Turning in Les Mis, couldn't it? A song that nobody likes.
Changing a scene.
Even Claude Michel Schoenberg once said to me like, oh God, I hate this song. I wish they would cut it.
Did
but
he
if
actually?
They, yeah, and if they cut it, then the girls would have nothing
I
to do.
literally was just going to say that's the only thing the women do.
But it was only written to cover a scene change. So.
Ah, right, okay. Yeah. And now the set has changed, so they probably could cut it.
Yeah, they don't even need turning, because there's no revolve.
Yes, there's no turning happening.
Yeah, they're not turning.
standing very still. Yeah.
Oh, good. They really wouldn't have anything to do.
This is chaos.
On the last week of my contract, I was in the barricades because Fontaine, spoiler alert, dies about 20 minutes into the show. It's a great job. Yeah. It's a great job. It really is. And then you're in the ensemble for Act 2. And we had a cut show for most of my last week. So I was given a rifle. Did any of you mention this to me? Yeah.
So do you know what a cut show is, by the way? You know what a cut show... Everyone knows what a cut show is.
No, we should explain for Tracy. So a cut show is when... You go, John.
Well, I mean, I only ever played principal roles. I don't
there it is.
A load of the cast might be off sick, and so other people have to pitch in.
No, I did actually. Back in the day when I was in the ensemble of Les Mis, we had a cut show, so there were like 6 people off. So then they divvy up their lines between other people, and so the sound guys are going crazy because they don't know who's singing next and stuff.
Yeah,
and I remember getting a line in Master of the House, which is now gone. It's a section of Master of the House is no longer in the show, and I sang my line, and then I said to someone immediately, "That was fun." Like that, but it was live because the guy hadn't turned my mic off. Yeah.
Well, it's nice that you enjoy the job.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was so good. I kept given this rifle, but I was so wildly aware that I was holding a gun, because the girls don't really do that in Les Mis. We just sort of stand there with mop caps on and.
Yeah, there is one character, isn't there? The lesbian poetess.
The lesbian poet. Yes, that's not me.
That's not you.
No.
Do you know? You don't even know who that is,
no.
do you? Next time you see Les Mis, there's a woman in the cast who has a gun, and she's a lesbian apparently, and she writes poetry.
She always has the little rosette on her jacket. It's Iman currently, if anyone's seen the show and knows the cast.
You got the gun.
Oh, I just felt like a Wally. I didn't
that's
know
the
what
end
to
of
do
the
with
anecdote,
it.
right?
You know when someone gives you something to hold and you're like, well, I don't know. Like when someone gets given a baby and they've never held a baby before. I was holding it out at arm's length. I didn't know what to do. And then get down. And I was like, what do I do with the gun? And it's still up there. It was really weird.
Do you remember the time when we had a cut show and there's an emergency Gavroche in the cast?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So if there's not a 10-year-old boy to play the role, we had a 35-year-old pregnant woman playing Gavroche, Katie Nana. Do you remember that? Yeah. And she was about 5 months pregnant.
Who was it?
Katie Nana.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, unbelievable. I mean, properly nuts. How is this happening?
It's mental. We were also, quite often, if you know me and you listen to me do this sort of thing, you will have heard this story before. Brammer and I were in Les Mis together when I had to go on for the wedding in Les Mis in the old costumes. Cosette was in a sort of floor-length black dress with a doily thing around her neck. And I had a really, really quick change into the wedding, and I went off one day to do my quick change. I'd been on holiday. It was my first day back, and the dress hadn't been changed over from my understudy to my dress. And my understudy was tiny, teeny, weeny.
Like 4'11".
And so I took off all my clothes and I stood into this dress and I tried to put my hands through the sleeves and I got stuck. And I was like, this isn't my dress. And my dresser was like, oh my God. And she just sort of froze. And I was like, okay, I've just got to get it back off and put the black dress back on. But in the meantime, the wiggy had put the veil on me and I had the white shoes on and my dress was completely open. I was really late for the wedding. And I ran on to Brammer, who was like, where the hell have you been? And I was like, do my dress up. And I turned around and my whole back was out. And he spent the whole wedding crying, laughing, trying to do up hook and eyes on this dress. It was just the most ridiculous thing.
Yeah, it was very, very,
but
very
it is
funny.
fun. Well, you got to love it, haven't you? That's the joy of live theatre. If it's possible for you to pinpoint one moment in your career where you thought, wow, I've really made it. I know that's a really horrible question to answer, but I think it's really great to hear from people who have done so much different and like a smorgasbord of things throughout your careers. You both have such variation. Is there one thing that you thought, wow, okay, this is it? And not the surreal thing, not the, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening, but a real, you've taken it in the moment, felt emotional about it, or thought little me would lose their freaking mind over this? Or
I'll give a slightly more considered answer to that, if that's all right. I don't think I have made it. I don't think anyone really makes it. There's success is built on years and years of hard work and practice and dedication, and then suddenly everyone knows who you are. That's all that happens. There's no one moment where you go, I'm famous. I mean, I don't know about you, but that's never happened to me. I mean, the first time you get recognized in public, you think, oh, hang on,
It's a bit weird,
Marks and Spencer's. I was in the ladies' lingerie section.
Wasn't going to be Asda, was it? Come on. Waitress.
No, you know, with my wife. I wasn't on my own, you know. I don't do that all the time. But I was with my wife, and this bloke came up to me and went, "Can I just say, you were the best grand terre I've ever seen." Grand terre, Les Mis, of all things, yeah. And I played Phantom at this point. You know, so weird, that kind of thing. You know, but there's no real one moment, I don't think. What about you?
Yeah, no, I think you're right. There's constant little moments where you go, I'm working. Like I've just finished a TV show with Phyllis Logan, who was Mrs. Hughes in Downton Abbey, and like I love the show, and I was just like, oh, I'm just working with you every day, you know. And that's so. And then you work with it's people for me. You just go, I can't believe I'm working opposite you. I can't believe I'm working with you. I can't believe that I get to be in the same circle as these people. That's sort of so constant little moments like that. And then there's the Times Square thing, but like yeah, I sort of agree that I don't feel like. You just get each job and then you just go do the job. It's not quite as is it, right?
Yeah, it's not like you've won Love Island or something. Do you know what I mean? And suddenly everyone knows
Do you want to do Love Island?
No, God, no. Good God. The people that go on that show.
Are
I'm
really
joking,
lovely.
of course. I'm just about to work with one. That was that joke, yeah. What about you? Have you had that kind of moment, Lucie?
Yeah, I think it's sort of more along the lines of what you've just said. Lots of little moments where I've thought, oh my God. And for me, I auditioned for Alpha for 11 years. So when I did my curtain call on the first night of playing the role, I thought, not I've made it, but thank God.
Yeah.
Really, like a relief and a release. There's been other little things along the way like that. Like first night of Jenna, you know, waitress.
Yeah.
And
isn't it true, though, you have to have a belief that you belong on stage, otherwise you'll never be there.
Yeah. Oh,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
absolutely.
So you have to have a certain level of arrogance. You know, I mean, I remember Judi Dench once told me, there's no substitute for arrogance. You just have to hide it, you know, because everyone who is successful has to believe they're good at what they do.
Yeah, it's the self-belief has to come from somewhere. And if it comes from a genuine good place, they're the people, for me, that are successful long-term, and you both have
the nice people
that.
last longer, definitely.
Big time. Yeah. And you both have that in spades. And on that note, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you so, so much for being incredible guests. I'm sure you'll all agree. Lovely humans, great fun, great spirit. Alistair Brammer and John Owen-Jones.
Lucie Jones doing a podcast and it's just begun. Lucie Jones needed a theme tune, so I wrote a one. And it goes like this, off script. With Lucie Jones.